All right, straight out of that piece, let me just bring him right in. Christopher Dickey, foreign editor for the Daily Beast, based in Paris. It's a treat to get to see you today in person. But I mean, we were just talking as you were watching the piece. These young men saying they're converting to Islam. They want to wage this war, and you were almost rolling your eyes.
Well, I was rolling my eyes. Look, all this stuff about the Quran and about Islam from those kinds of guys, it's crap. What they're talking about is, I want to be famous. Almost all terrorists, in fact, share certain things in common, and Islam is not one of the things they share. It was true of some in the Irish Republican Army. It's been true in Central America. It's been true in lots of places.
So what
are
they share?
Those things? TNT, basically. Testosterone. They're almost all young guys. Some of these guys may be a little bit older. Narrative. That's very important. They may not be oppressed. They may not have grown up oppressed, but they passionately identify themselves with some oppressed people. Maybe their own, maybe somebody else's. And finally, theater. They want to project themselves on the world stage.
They want this fame.
They want this fame. They want to carry out spectacular acts, whether it's 9/11 or the beheading of an American journalist.
You bring up James Foley, and so there have been questions as President Obama has presented plans. How does the U.S. approach what's happening in Syria? Then possible war in the Middle East based upon a beheading. And the question is, as we were discussing briefly before you came on, and you said, yes, that beheading of James Foley is the catalyst potentially to something bigger. But I would just want to play a little sound. This is from Lee Hamilton. He co-chaired the 9/11 Commission. Listen to his perspective.
What kind of resources are we prepared to put into the effort in that region to deter, to contain, to eliminate, to defeat ISIS? I've heard those verbs, those words used by everybody. We're all over the place in trying to describe what our policy is. That needs to be focused, and we need to make up our mind how we're going to deal with this threat, not just in the United States, as Dan was talking about, but in the region itself.
So he says we're all over the place. Do you
agree?
agree?
We are all over the place. Look, what's Obama's first challenge here? It isn't really what to do about ISIS. It's what to do about the American public. The American people don't want to go to war in the Middle East anymore. Not at all. That's what we saw a year ago when there was a whole issue of the chemical weapons being used.
Right.
We saw that Obama wanted to do something, then backed off because it was really clear that the American public was against it. So now, look at the way he's framed the situation again and again. When we first started to bomb ISIS positions, it was, what? To protect Americans in Erbil, Americans in Baghdad. Not American interests, American people in those places. We didn't talk about withdrawing those American people, but we did talk about defending them. So then you have an American journalist decapitated in this horrific film. That, in a sense, gives Obama what he needs to push things forward against ISIS. Even if we're not very well prepared, even if we don't know exactly what we want to do, we do know that ISIS is presenting a bigger and bigger problem, not only in the region, but potentially here at home in the United States. And finally, what was the most successful line used by the Bush administration when going on all the military adventures it went on? We need to fight the terrorists there so we don't have to fight them here. That was pretty much of a lie, because in fact the risks have increased to us here as a result of what the Bush administration did. But it's very convincing when the American people hear it. Because what Americans want is not to get engaged with the rest of the world. They don't want the world to come and attack them.
No, of course not.
Well, clearly.
Of course they don't.
And this has to be cast in that light if the Americans are going to do anything.
Chris Dickey, come back.